Welcome to the second week of Super Series table tennis action from the GAC Group ITTF World Tour here on Eurosport. It's been an interesting final day here at the Qatar Open in Doha. Team China not at this Super Series event, which leaves the door open for the rest of the world to get in amongst it for points and prize money. We've got two intriguing finals coming up with highlights coverage of the whole of the women's and men's deciding matches. The men's final between Germany's Dmitry Ovcharov and Belarus's Vladimir Samsonov. But first up, it's a classic attack versus defense encounter in the women's final, as in the red shirt, Romanian attacking player Elizabeta Samara takes on defender from Germany, Ying, who disposed of the #1 seed at Feng Tianwei in the semi-final in a mammoth 75-minute match. And I just wonder whether that huge semi-final is going to cause Han a few problems. We will see as this game develops. They've actually only got one listed encounter at a big event on the head-to-heads. That went to Ying in their meeting back in 2013 at the European Championships, which Ying won in straight sets. But having seen them play in pro level, National League, for their respective clubs in Turkey, in various competitions, I can definitely say that Samara in the red at the far end of the table, the left-hand looper from Constanta in Romania, is getting the hang of the way that Ying plays and comes into these matches now with a very definite approach to what she wants to do. So just watch her be patient, and that's the key for the Romanian. She's got to be patient through this match, pick her shots, and she's going to try and keep the Chinese-born German away from the table. Ying using short pimples on the backhand side of her blade, but regular chopping rubber on the forehand side, so she's getting a lot of underspin with that forehand. And a very obvious difference there between the two forehands that we saw Samara play. So she knows when it's coming back off the forehand side with less spin, then she can hit through very similarly off that backhand side. But when it's got a heap of underspin on it, then she's just going to keep using the flat of her blade just to keep guiding the ball back over the net, actually using hands backspin against it. But Samara will use very few backhands in this match in terms of attacking shots. Pretty much all of her attacking shots will come from the topspin forehand. She's looking to get in again. There she comes. Good work. Stays on the front foot. Getting enough pace onto that forehand to force Ying to play a fairly tame return. And once she has that ball coming back to with little or a little bit of topspin, then she can be very comfortable with the way she hits through the ball. So good start for Samara. Coached at this tournament by Villarreal Philemon. No mean player back in the day.
5-4. Net 5-4.
Just a reminder, best of 7 games, so first to 4, 11 points per game is the target, but you can play on to 2 clear. Again, good patience from Samara. Seen her get very frustrated playing against Ying in the pro leagues. But there is a way into this match, and Ying coming off the back of that mammoth match against Feng Tianwei in the semi-finals, which she came back and won from 2 sets to 1 down. Not the first time she's beaten her either, Feng Tianwei, the top seed here in Qatar, but back in 2012, Ying was here, not as a German player. She actually funded her own trip to Qatar and knocked out Feng in the first round of the tournament. That sent a few shockwaves through the world scene, because Ying's ranking was relatively lowly at the time, despite her excellent form in the Bundesliga. But now Ying has developed and developed over time to be one of the best defenders in the world. 7-5 goes to 8-5. Samara playing some good table tennis here. Han Ying going on the attack, but a nice block from Samara. No, that was too high. Push just kicking off the rubber from Samara. That was easy for Han Ying to run in and hit the forehand. But Han Ying being forced here to try and move Samara around a little bit more. Can't just rely on that straightforward defensive game. She's got to have a little bit of guile here. Well, amazing the amount of spin on the ball. Touched the table and came back over the net, so Samara picks up another point. 2 away from putting this first set to bed. Nice work. Very nice work from Samara. Just would not take the foot off the gas here. Kept the pressure on with those big forehands. And finally gets the angle to defeat Han Ying. Out to the forehand side. 4 set points then for Samara. And the backhand into the net. And it's in fact Han Ying, renowned for her patience, that loses patience at the end of that first set. And Elizabeta Samara with a dream start to this women's final. Chasing that winner's check of $26,000 US, but more importantly, her first Super Series title. Getting closer and closer in recent seasons, Samara. And a genuine opportunity here today because she seems to have the measure of Han Ying at the moment. We'll take a break there. Welcome back to the Qatar Open. Women's final underway, and a very good start for the Romanian left-hander. Elizabeta Samara in the red shirt. Getting off to a dream start against Han Ying, a player that she hasn't beaten on the international stage, but they've only met once before. That game going to Han Ying in straight sets, but as I said at the top of this match, Samara seems to be finding a way to play Han Ying over the years. They've met quite a bit in professional table tennis in the leagues. And Samara has a game plan, a very definite game plan. Push and push until you can get in with that big forehand, and then do not take the foot off the gas. Just keep battering away until you can get that ball to an angle that Han Ying can't reach. Han Ying, of course, defending all the time against that, so at some point she might get a really heavy bit of backspin on it that will cause Samara problems. But 11-6 in that first game to Samara, and she's using her backhand quite effectively to get into rallies today. Good work from Samara, throws up another lob. And finally the miss from Han Ying, and that's the problem that the defenders have. They use a blade that is very soft, very slow to absorb all the attacking power of their opponents, but it means that with all that control and lack of pace in the blade and the rubber, they can't get pace into the shots. So Samara doing a great job there. Here we go into this regular attack defense response, and Han Ying just starting to get a little bit frustrated. No frustration though for coach Philemon, the Romanian national team coach, here with Elizabeta Samara. 2-all, second game, first to 4. And a surprise backhand serve, just catching Samara out. Trying to get that little bit of variation into her shots. Han doesn't want to be playing defensive shots all the time. Trying to whip this forehand back with a little bit of counter spin, but straight into the net. Frustration again, but I think Samara's handling this game well. Again, Han Ying forced to attack. Well, back to a stalemate in that rally, which Samara then felt she had to break. How fast she's having to whip the blade through. As the coach for the German, Schupp. Schupp, a very good defender in her own right now, taking over coaching duties. So at least Han Ying has someone of a similar game style to talk with and work with. More raking forehands from Samara, but well contained by Han Ying. And again, just mixing it up, not all underspin. A little bit of counter hit thrown in as well. Again, another fast serve from Han Ying, so Samara not able to get into it immediately, and this is useful for Han Ying. Just trying to steady things down after that fantastic start that Samara made. But I do wonder how much Han Ying has left in the tank. That monumental semi-final where she saved 2 match points against Feng Tianwei to come through and win it.
3-7.
And Han Ying now focusing very hard on the backhand corner of the table as she faces her opponent. She's trying to get as much as she can down the backhand side of Samara. Samara a little bit cautious about running around the forehand to open it up.
4-7.
Well, that is rather slack. It looked like a tired shot to me. Good work from Samara. Not easy to keep hitting with pace when the ball comes back with a bit of pace, and she's contained that very well, just switching the angle on the forehand. And Han Ying nowhere near with the backhand. Little revival here in this second set for Samara. Well, more good, strong forehands, but Han Ying has changed her game plan quite dramatically. And some decent counter hits in this rally. Just getting that little bit of topspin, but I don't know if you could see from that top shot. Watch her fade the racket across the top of the ball as well. So producing some side spin, and that's cracked one of these new DHS balls. A lot talked about the new plastic ball. Been a while since we've had a ball change in terms of technology in table tennis, but it's here and here to stay.
5-9.
Playing on Jeweler 3000 tables with the DHS 40+3 star ball and the Taraflex floor. There's always a different combination of equipment at these events, and that does suit different players.
6-9.
Well, Samara not out of it yet in this set, but Han Ying with a golden opportunity here, and that was slack once more. Misread on a very good serve. Just gave enough elevation to that ball for Samara to get this away down the line, and that's precision hitting from the Romanian. 2 points in it still. 2 serves to come from Han Ying, and pace on the ball. Very good forehand once more from Samara. And Han Ying just getting caught out. I think maybe she felt this was going to be another one going down her backhand side. But it went into the hip on the forehand side. Just 1 point in it now. Han Ying has to be a little more circumspect in this rally, surely. Again, coming with the counter hit. Dealt with by Samara. Oh, brilliant. Marvellous variation from the Romanian. And sticking with these tactics, despite the change in tactics from Han Ying. Far less backspin and far more topspin, and got caught out on that backhand. This was a very floaty shot away from the racket. 9-all. fierce forehand chop, well dealt with by Samara, and then that little counter topspin thrown in, and Samara was waiting for it. Watch her dispatch this off the bounce. Beautiful flat forehand, fading away again from Han Ying. And Han Ying now struggling to cope with the Romanians' variety of attacking shots. It's all forehand, but she's putting some beautiful disguise on where she's going to hit them. Chance for the set, missed. And it was a big chance, but Han Ying just getting enough on this ball to take it away from Samara's forehand. Good footwork to get there, but in the end just flapped at this. Didn't have as much control as she wanted, so 10-all, deuce, alternate serves, 2 clear points required. Oh, and a fortunate touch off the net. The spin just killing that ball dead. Unplayable by Han. So another game point to make it 2 sets to love for Samara. She's in the rally and she's got it. Another blinding forehand down the line from Samara. And a great celebration from her. What a comeback in that second game. 11-6, 12-10. And Elizabeta Samara leads 2-0, and that's going to do a lot for your confidence. If as an attacker against a defender you can get that lead, it just frees the arm up on these big topspin loop shots, which she is hitting quite phenomenally today. Is another change. There's the change to that backhand side, down the line effectively for Samara, hitting on her forehand. Very cleverly done. Now, I talked a lot about Fang Tianwei being knocked out in the semi-final, and what a good win that was for Han Ying. And from Samara's point of view, a little more straightforward, came through her quarter-final against Wu Jiajiu of Germany 4-2, and then beat the Korean Yang Haeun by 4-1 in the semi, so less energy expended. Han Ying's had a pretty tough draw, but has done phenomenally well to get to the final, and she's getting just a bit frustrated with herself here. And for those of you that have seen these two play before, you'll know that under normal circumstances, it's actually Samara that gets the more frustrated of the two, trying to keep going with the loop. But I just love the variation. Once again, just content at the moment to push. Han Ying eventually getting in fast enough on that forehand to force her opponent away from the table, but Samara's happy playing away there in that sort of mid-distance position. Just not as happy hitting the backhands against the chop. Good spin control off the net from Samara. Oh yes, well played. Samara containing the first attacking shot from Han with a good block, but just didn't get enough on it. And a very nice angle. It's Han Ying's turn to go down the line. Been quite a productive area for both players. Good work. Well, this is the kind of patience that I was talking about that Samara has to exhibit in these games. Could have overhit any one of these forehands. Instead, just kept increasing the angle until she squeezed it right onto the side of the table. Coach Philemon happy with that. And another one of those balls with so much spin on that as soon as it contacts the net, it just dies. Good effort, speed from Samara to get a touch on it. Should watches on. German coach looking very worried. Yeah, great stuff. Great work. Force your opponent wide on one wing, and then off the bounce, change the angle. And she's done that really well today, Samara. And what she's done is she's judged the shots that are coming back from Han Ying to perfection. Lots of top spin to counter the chop, the backspin. And then a flatter, faster forehand when it's come back as a counter hit. But a bit harsh on herself there. 4-all, but 2-0 up.
5-4.
And again, she has got Han Ying at 6s and 7s here. German once again caught out and just trying to contain that topspin. Yeah, nice change in service there, but the way Han received it, it came back with a lot of Samara's own spin on it. And she didn't deal with that too well. Nice.
5-6.
Nice work again from Samara. Refusing to go too early. Poor miss in the end from Han Ying on the backhand side. Not easy to hit with that side of the rubber.
7-5.
Well, this is just so well controlled. Samara off just to have a towel down.
Timeout.
And a timeout called by Han Ying. Well, by Ji Shup, actually, just letting her player know that she wants to chat with her. Two excellent coaches in action working with their players. And when you think back to 2012, when Han Ying wasn't actually part of the German setup, was a Bundesliga player for some 10 years, but funded her own trip to Qatar, had no coach to speak with because it wasn't part of the German program at the time. So did the thing all on her own when she beat Feng Tianwei. Well, things different now. Part of the German squad.
Time.
And when you're a long way from home, just having someone there for you, having someone to bounce some ideas off, or somebody just to say, look, hey, I'm watching from the side here and I can see what's happening.
7-5.
We need to change how we're going to approach this. That can be a massive help. It certainly was a massive help in the semi-final. Two particularly notable timeouts to let her back in. And another good rally developing. Another change of angle from Samara. And the beauty of being able to kill down the line on that side is it's a shorter distance, so the ball is travelling to its point of attack a lot quicker, and that's what's causing Han Ying the problem. She can't get a shot on that backhand side. And if she does get there, all she can do is just touch it back into play. Oh, she's done it again. And all Han Ying can do is stare at her opponent at the other end of the table, as if to say, how did you do that? She found the paint, both sides. Beautifully played. Elizabeta Samara is in very good form in this final. Oh, she's never going to have a better chance than this, surely, of claiming a Super Series title. Is the Romanian. And has to keep her patience, has to stay in each rally and not get ahead of herself. Good work again, guiding it onto the table with a forehand that in games gone past she would have tried to put a bit more on, but just played it on. And Han Ying making the mistake. 4 game points then for 3-0. Yeah, there's not a lot of people here in Qatar would have believed this possible. Thought this final was going to be a lot closer based on previous results, but Elizabeta Samara, after seeing off that challenge in the second game, has been really quite phenomenal in the third. And she stuck with the tactics, and Han Ying has not had the answer. Look at the huge amount of spin being put on. And Samara is earning every single point here. And Han Ying is running out of options. She's running out of sets. Samara leads 3-0.
First game, Han Ying to serve.
Well, this is turning into a bit of a masterclass from Elizabeta Samara of attack playing against very good defence. I think if we're absolutely fair to Han Ying, in the first two sets she wasn't in it. She looked pretty jaded from that incredible semi-final encounter. She played well in the second set. She got herself into position, but when it really mattered and Samara started to put the pressure on and come back, Han Ying just didn't have too much left in the tank. But game three, all Samara. Beautiful shots, great choices, good variation of the attack point. And dealt very well with the way Han Ying has mixed it up. It's not easy to play against players with these combination rubbers, but what Samara has done is she's remembered, she's stuck to the game plan, and she's concentrated very, very hard on the returns that are coming back. Now that's a pretty straightforward miss on that occasion. Again, that little bit of frustration just boiling over for Samara, and Han Ying will be feeding off this. She'll be enjoying that. Just waiting for that ball to come back with less spin on it, Samara. And then in she goes. Oh, brilliant. There was a huge amount of backspin on that shot from Han Ying, but it sat up high. So essentially Samara able to take the spin out of the equation by just flat batting that away. Good forehand from her to stay in touch with Han Ying, who is running out of options here. This is a really good performance from the Romanian.
2-4.
Just clipping the top of the net. This was a good forehand, but just that millimetre contact took it away from the table. Great shot of just how long the forehands are from Samara to impart this spin.
3-4.
And she's done it again. Han Ying cannot get away from Samara. She can't get comfortable in any of these games. Only game two where she had a bit of daylight between her and her opponent. Another high return. And Samara's got away with one there, and she's letting Han Ying know about it. Kicked up off the net and sat up ready to be killed. And she's battered it straight into the middle of the net. Well, these forehands, when Samara gets them right, they're just getting on to Han Ying a little bit quickly, and she's not having the time that she needs to play that shot where she cuts down from high up to low down and imparts the backspin on the ball, controls Samara's topspin. Just not happening for her at the moment.
5-all.
Samara trying to stay patient in that rally, but in the end missing out into the net. But 5-all. Very, very close, Samara, to a bit of history here. Another great rally. Another good score. Samara is going to have a sore shoulder tomorrow because she's having to work very hard with these top spins. But right now, she will be enjoying how she's playing. Can she get the job done?
6-all.
Getting more and more tense is Viorel in the background.
6-7.
And that's a gift. That's a real gift. Just snatched at that backhand. And it was never in line with her body either. She leaned over to it, didn't take a little step. Good aggression from Samara once more. Sticking with that quadrant, waiting for that line shot. And there it comes. Nicely defended, Han Ying, 2 in a row. Just unbelievable table tennis. Well, Han Ying quite brilliantly read those 2 line shots, so this time the change-up of angle didn't work for Samara initially, but my goodness me, she's found a devilish finish on the forehand there. Slid that right onto the edge of the table. What a rally to win. 8-6 Samara, 3 points away from a Super Series title. Just brushes the net and away again. Well, it's been a joy to watch Samara's performance here. A little bit frustrating for Han Ying. She's not quite been on her game in this final. And another missed opportunity. Fancied the counter hit on the forehand, but look how far away from the table that is. And Samara rather being gifted this tournament. Still has to get the job done. This is not over yet. Oh, brilliant. I think we can say, though, that it should be over now. 3 opportunities for Samara to claim this title here in Qatar. You've seen how she celebrates. I wonder how she's going to celebrate the win when she gets that final shot. Not this time. So it's going to be a little bit of a nervy finish here for Samara. For Han Ying, nothing to lose now. She's got to keep the ball on the table. She's got to keep it on there with plenty of backspin and variation as well if she's going to get to the ball with the backhand side of this blade. And then just see if Samara can get the job done. 2 serves then for Samara. Just a push, back to the forehand, topspin. Goes to the angle, well read on the backhand. Han Ying fighting with everything she's got. And it's a miss from Samara. That's the problem when you switch off and go from the attacking mode. You don't quite give that push the full concentration. And that's all that was.
Time out.
Was thinking about the forehand, changed her mind and just pushed it off. And that's a very quick response from Viorel Philemon. So timeout called by the Romanian. A tricky situation, because if you haven't been on the verge of a title like this before, it can feel like this is going to be the only chance you have. But actually that won't be the case for Samara, even if she loses this game. She still has a massive chance to claim the title because she'll still be 3-1 up. But she would dearly love to get the job done, if she can, in 4. 1 championship point remains as we wait for the music to be turned off.
10-9.
10-9 Samara, on the verge of something quite brilliant here. Oh, she has done it. And she has got it done in 4. A cursory tap of hands between the two. Han Ying, having disposed of the #1 seed to get to this final, is gutted that she couldn't finish the job. But for Elizabeta, Samara, who has her fans here in Qatar, what a performance. 11-6, 12-10, 11-6, 11-9 to get the job done in 4 games and claim this Qatar Open title. She showed superb patience, amazing concentration, but also some real flair with those forehands, varied the angles, never let Han Ying settle. And Han Ying will feel that she was not in this game at any point, even when she was up in the second set. Once Samara started to come back, Han Ying crumbled. And Samara claims victory in this Super Series here in Qatar for Romania. Brilliant win for Samara.